I took the night shift at the warehouse in Evansville because it paid better than days. It was a big, old building off the highway, full of crates and steel racks, the air thick with dust and oil. I'd been a picker for 4 months, grabbing orders off shelves with a handheld scanner, the hum of forklifts my only company. I liked the quiet, until that snowy January night. It was 2 a.m., and I was in Section C, pulling boxes of auto parts. The warehouse was dead, just me and Joe, the forklift guy, somewhere up front. The lights flickered, buzzing loud in the cold. I heard a scrape, metal on concrete, sharp and close, from the next aisle. I stopped, scanner beeping in my hand. "Joe?" I called, voice bouncing off the racks. No answer. I grabbed my box cutter, flipped it open, and peeked around the shelf. Nothing, just shadows and crates. The scrape came again, slower, like something dragging. My gut said check it, so I walked over, boots quiet on the floor. A pallet sat crooked, a crowbar lying beside it, rusty and bent. I hadn't left it there. "Joe, you around?" I said, louder. Silence. Then I heard it, whistling, low and off-key, from the back corner by the loading docks. My skin prickled. I tightened my grip on the cutter and moved toward it, the air getting colder, damper. The whistling stopped, then started again, closer, behind a stack of tires. I swung my flashlight. There he was, a guy in a torn jacket, crouched, eyes glinting like a cat's. He grinned, slow and wide, and whispered, "You're late." I bolted, cutter slipping in my sweaty hand, racks blurring past. His footsteps echoed, fast, uneven, chasing me. I yelled for Joe, ducking into the break room, slamming the door and shoving a chair under the knob. The whistling came through the wall, soft, right outside. I called 911, "Some guy's in the warehouse, he's after me." The line crackled. He banged the door, once, hard. Cops got there at 3 a.m., lights cutting the snow. No guy, just a mess of tipped crates and a jacket, wet and shredded, by the docks. They found Joe locked in the office, shaking, saying he'd seen some shadow climb the racks. "Drifter, maybe," the cop said. "Knew the layout, lucky you locked up." Lucky didn't fit. The warehouse in Fontana was my gig, a sprawling hub off the freeway shipping electronics. I'd been a forklift driver for 6 months, rolling through aisles under bright lights, the air heavy with cardboard and heat. I liked the night shift, less traffic, just me and the crew. Until that foggy March night. And I was moving pallets in Zone 5, TVs stacked high. Fog crept in from the open bays, thick and gray, swallowing the far walls. I heard a clank, loud, like a tool hitting the floor, from the repair section. I stopped the lift, engine idling. "Mike?" I called, figuring the mechanic was still around. No answer, just the hum of the vents. I grabbed my wrench, heavy in my hand, and climbed down. The fog made everything blurry, lights glowing like ghosts. I walked over, tools sat neat on the bench, but a hammer lay on the ground, dented. "Mike, you there?" I said, picking it up. Officers arrived just after 2:30 in the morning. The suspect was gone, only a toppled shipping pallet and a sweat-drenched hoodie lay near the docks. Inside, they discovered Mike restrained in the employee lounge, his muffled claims describing a monster crawling from a wooden crate. "Just some strung-out junkie," one cop muttered. "Picked the perfect night to vanish, good thing you fought him off." But good thing didn't ease the dread coiling in Mike's gut. The Atlanta warehouse was my grind, a sprawling cold storage facility downtown, shipping frozen food to grocery stores and restaurants. I'd been working as a loader for a year, hauling crates of chicken, beef, and fish in the sub-zero chill, my breath frosting in the harsh fluorescent lights. The night shift suited me, steady hours, no supervisors breathing down my neck, and, most importantly, but no blistering Georgia heat. At least, not until that night in April, when the rain poured and something else slithered out of the dark. And I was deep in the freezer, stacking pallets of chicken under the hum of industrial coolers. The cold gnawed at my fingers despite my gloves, and the air smelled like frost and raw meat. Then, thud. A sharp, sudden noise from the beef section. I froze, my gloves creaking as I tightened my grip on a crate. "Tina?" I called, thinking my coworker might have dropped something. No answer, just the echo of my own voice bouncing off the steel racks. I grabbed my pry bar, the metal. I bolted. My boots skidded on the ice as I sprinted down the aisle, his ragged breaths and dragging footsteps close behind. The cold seared my lungs. I screamed for Tina, dodging racks, my pry bar clattering to the floor. I crashed into the warmer staging area, slammed the door, and threw a shipping cart against it. The thing on the other side scratched at the metal, slow, deliberate, whispering, "Stay, stay." I fumbled for my phone, dialing the supervisor first, then 911. There's a guy in the freezer," I panted. He's not right." The cops arrived at 4 a.m., the rain still hammering the roof. They searched the freezer. No man. Just a toppled crate and a frozen parka, stiff with ice, near the beef section. Tina was in the office, pale and shaking. She said she'd heard whispers in the vents. "Probably just a squatter," one cop muttered. "Knew the cold would hide him. Lucky you got out." But as I sat there, arms wrapped around myself, I knew lucky wasn't the word. Because later, when the crew did inventory, they found one of the beef crates, empty, lid pried open from the inside. And deep in the frost, a single, faded shipping label. Delivered, 1978.